Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 23 of Two Idiots Learn to Code Brain Drain series. I am one of those idiots. I am Amax Games Davie, or just Davie, if you want to keep it nice and informal. And this is episode 23 of Amax Games trying to create a quiz game. This quiz game itself is trying to be ethical, multiple game modes, trying to do everything. We're also never coded before, hence the Two Idiots Learn to Code. Never used Unity before, never used C# before. So this is a whole lot of next kind of learning curve for both me and my partner in crime when you see him on here occasionally, Idiot John. And this is one of the games that we are trying to create at the moment. We are a new game studio. We're trying to focus on being ethical towards our customers and not treating them like walking wallets, while our games are freemium and do contain in-app purchases. The in-app purchases will not be £100 or $100 for an in-app purchase. And our ads will not be 10 seconds of gameplay and then a 30-second ad, or a 60-second ad the way YouTube's going at the moment. So with that in mind, we've been doing pretty well with the game so far. We are down to some snagging listings before we add obviously additional content such as in-app purchases and that. We have a snagging list over here on our intranet for the company. Found this new one when testing the other day. The hint is not being cleared when we select a new... Try again. The hint is not being cleared when we start a new question. So in order for me to kind of fix that, I'm going to... That's one of the things I'm going to try and actually do today. I also need to check the settings one as well. I think the reason that the music volume changes when you jump back to the main menu is it defaults to maximum rather than actually loading these settings beforehand, and I need to find if there's a way to change that. The word ads does actually give an ad, so I can actually strike that one off. Well, technically the word it gives is a hint, but this has now been tested in a physical device. So that can be struck off. Ads and banners being inconsistent, I'll worry about that. But this is hopefully stuff within here is what we're going to try and look at today. Okay, so the easy one to knock off and actually make us feel like we're making some progress here is the hints are not clearing in a new question. So Grok's been rather helpful recently. We've been trying to assist with this. So let's jump back into our project in Unity. I'll go to our scripts folder. And I will open braindrainquiz.cs. Just wait for this to load, should take a moment. Okay, so I'm just going to Control A and Control C, so let's select all and copy. I'm going to go with Grok. And we'll say this is braindrainquiz.cs. When a user gets hints, the hint is not clear when... Try typing correctly. The next question is asked. But before I do that, I'll just give it the code raw dog and see what it comes up with regards to the code review. So if you just give it code, it will actually do a code review on it. Grok's pretty decent with this. What we might actually do as well, just for giggles, is open up ChatGPT. I've been using DeepSeek occasionally as well. The only kind of big two that I'm not using is Copilot, which I found to be useless. And I've not quite worked out. I've never tried Gemini for this particular type of code, so maybe that's something we can throw at it today. So Grok still think about it, and that's fine. Got a few users, that's also fine. Ah, that's interesting. Did you catch that one? So it actually searched X for Amax Games to see if it could, yeah, there we go, searching for user Amax Games, so it could pull some information about the game from actual. Yeah, and it has. This is me complaining that I have never made a post to Facebook, but Meta disabled my account for Amax Games. So that's interesting. Okay, so let's begin to spit out some information. Comprehensive, monobuilt class, blah blah blah. Okay, overall structure. Yep, purpose, dependencies, key features. Game mode round fixed questions, survival infinite life, hardcore mode survival one life. Yeah. Fuzzy matching answers using Levenstein. Toggle via player press, hints and system types, currency and rewards, cash for correct answers, tokens for perfect rounds, ads for extra hints, reporting bad questions via Twitter at Amax Games, add integration, interstitial after games, rewarded for hints, stats tracking, total games, okay. Key sections, okay, that's just that. Okay, potential bugs and edges, first question reporting, can't report very first question since previous question is null. Yeah, fair point. If invalid hints is true, UI shows tilde, but until they set to 99, fine, but ensure it's disabled production. Yeah, need to check that. Well, I mean, when it says edge cases, that is what I call an edge case. Time pause handling. That's why my add and button entitled is checked in update. This could be optimized to event based if performance is an issue. Okay, perhaps fuzzy matching logic. Question database, no questions available, ensure an error. Yeah, okay, coroutine management, no null checks for some places. Okay, suggested fix. Performance update is lightweight, but if your game scales, move add checks to events instead of polling. Accessibility, add keyboard navigation for input. Yeah, don't know if I'm going to go down that route. That sounds painful. Balance difficulty based on generations could be more dynamic, e.g. adaptive based on player performance. Now this I am interested in developing something like this. Add unit tests for string util is similar with edge cases. Okay. Typos, caching, punctuation. I mean, if it can give me an example of how to implement that, I'm down for that. For player saves, but frantic cheat consider encrypting saves and multiplayer high scores were added. At this point, you're only really cheating yourself, so I don't think it's a big issue just now. Add online leaderboard, more hints type, or multiplayer modes, integrate analytics for question difficulty tuning. So I do like the idea of analytics. Okay. Right, with that in mind, let's say I have a bug that when a user uses the hint is displayed. But when the next question is asked, the hint still appears on screen. Let's fix that. Looks like it's given me the full procedure rather than just add this line here. Grok's very good at this, like, additional information. It's not necessarily what you're looking for, but I'm actually down to that because I'm trying to learn this and trying to learn coding as a whole. So it's not just giving me the answer; it's giving me some background as to why I chose that answer. So, where is it set in hint? Hint, 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 hint. Added hint.txt just after clearing answer text. So answer text and feedback text and hint text, yep. So yeah, it is basically just one line, which I expected to want me to put in. So let's jump to our load random questions in our code. Fix that. And then we get an easy win for this one. Put in there. Throw a semicolon on that. No, no. One of them. A semicolon, do it. Okay. Awesome. Let's save that. Jump back into the game. Can't remember if I have hints in this, but I think I do. I think it's enabled in error. So let's try and run the game. Okay, I'll click hint. Oh, no hint from me. Okay, so if I go back to quiz manager, there's infinite hints. Click. Let's try that again. Okay, now if I select that, it does. Right, cool. So that was a nice easy one. Single line of code, just a bit of a oversight on our behalf when writing the code. So I can go back over here and we've basically fixed that one as well. Okay. So in an attempt to keep this clean, I've been fixing these. I've been moving them up onto the done list. Okay, so that was a couple of easy wins. And I've also checked him on physical devices now. And that works. Okay. And I'll just remove the straight through from these two. Okay, and that's a bonus. So keep music playing, keep music volumes. To be fair, it's not just the music volumes, it's the settings. Settings are reset when you return to the main menu. Okay. So let's go back to our guru. What's the best way I can explain this? So I think part of the problem could be that I have the music menu settings, music manager and settings manager. I think that these are having issues, shall we say. So on Awake, settings manager setting these, and I'm wondering if these should actually be set in main menu as well. So when you go back to the main menu, it's automatically setting these up. So I'm going to say this is my settings manager.cs. I'll just again give it code and get the code review for it. Just let it know that the hint bug was fixed because I've got to tell it that. Okay. Because it's confused it too. So can we get a code review? Ask it for a code review of this. I think when doing this, Grok would prefer if each question was a brand new question, as in I clicked ask and started a new conversation with it. Wow, that's a lot of suggestions. It's a lot of suggestions. I actually wonder if you would ever be able to submit code though to a chat GPT or AI type thing and it actually comes up with, no, you know what, your code's good. Right, so it's given me a lot to actually catch up and read at the moment. We'll just let it work its way through. So let's go all the way up. Okay, we'll review strengths. Yes, potential issues. Inconsistent use of fuzzy match. Settings that manager defaults. Use fuzzy match setting to false. And awake. And is fuzzy match enabled? So by default it's off. Okay. So yeah, in braindrain.cs we're setting it to true as the default, but apparently we're setting it to false as default. It's an easy mistake to make. Okay. The script does not clean up the sendVec sources list or unregister itself when destroyed. Okay. Could lead to memory leaks. Well, okay, worth fixing. No range validation for volume. Don't clamp volume values 201, which is typical for the audio volumes. Setting volumes which is cause unexpected behavior. And it clamps internally, but I don't. Well, I mean, I understand the processor, but I don't understand why my implementation of that's wrong. No checks for Music Manager Limited. Okay, sendVec storage management. Okay, redundant player press saves. Right, fuzzy match integrations. Applied fuzzy match only logs the settings and saves it to player prefs. It does not notify brain drain quiz of changes. That's maybe a fair point. Okay. Yeah, there's not much comments. I'll give it that one. Okay, recommended improvement, standardise, use fuzzy matching. Update brain drain.quiz to use settings manager.is. Fuzzy matching enabled instead of its own use fuzzy matching property. Okay. Right, so could come in here like a wrecking ball because there's a lot of changes to be made. So let's jump over here and do a push. We'll check it in with fixed. Jesus. Issues. Oh, of course, stop play mode, fair enough. Stop play mode. Awesome. Check it in. Save. And done. Right, awesome. Okay, so it wants me to edit the braindrain.cs. Use fuzzy match, I think it's the bottom, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Right, so it wants me to nuke this out. So I'm just going to comment it out just now. Okay. It then wants me to add. Hold on. Remove. Okay. So around 116. That's not around 116. Right, okay, now I see what it's doing there. Okay, so it's grabbing that direct from settings manager. I like that. So around line 305. I like the new line comments. I don't think I've noticed them before. Okay, that's not. So the build is correct. So it's not where it's telling me. It's further down, isn't it? Actually, that's in a load random question. Yeah, so it's given me the wrong line number there. So it's saying update check answer. Which is here. So for the bill is correct to debug line, and then it's fuzzy match enabled. Right. So this is just it switching to use it as fuzzy match from settings. This actually makes sense. It really does make sense. Okay. It's a constant default in settings manager.cs. If you prefer, you use fuzzy matching to default to true. No, I prefer it to default to false. Or do I? Yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't really care that much, to be honest. Okay, so move over to settings manager.cs. Inside the wake, it wants to add fuzzy match. So I'm guessing it's replacing that line. Yep. Okay. And then is fuzzy match enabled? wants to change code. Okay. And on destroy for cleanup. Do music volume and sound effects volumes settings to clamp. So music volume and sound effects volume. Record music volume and sound effects volume. There's sound effects volume and there's music volume. Okay. Need to check that because I don't know how that's going to work with a sliding scale thing. Optimize player prefs. So, okay. Man, it'd be so much easier if it just gave me the full code here. So, save sentence. Is there a save sentence? It's not ringing a bell. No, there's not. Okay, so save sentence is new. Okay. Update settings to call save sentence only when needed. Okay, so that's saving them all actually. So on application, quit. Needs to be added. Okay. And public music volume. Okay. So wouldn't. What's changing here? Let's just. Oh, public music volume, get music volume set, music volume is master clamp. Apply volume, music volume, player pref set float. Okay, so it's removing. It's not saving the settings right away though, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. So technically, I can change this so I can do save settings in here. I think that's better. Clean up sound effects. Add a method to remove null entries from sound effects. Seems logical. Call it before iterate and apply sound effects. Improve music manager null handle and add a warning for missing music manager. So let's apply music volume and apply mute music. Okay. I really wonder sometimes if AI just writes over complex code. Right, my brain's breaking thinking about all this. too many changes in one file, which is a good thing because I mean it makes it easier for me to literally just work on what I'm looking at and work through it all. So unregister audio effects before destroying it. So public play test sound effects clip. And play test sound effects clip. Okay, and then we add a destroy enumerator. Go. Add event for setting the changes. Not sure about this one, to be honest. There's already a fuzzy match. And what was it on the bottom? There's my fuzzy match. Yeah, that's there. Okay. Brendan.quiz, subscribe to this event. Inside start. Okay, so brain drain quiz. Inside start. That's there. So put this on here. Okay. Add XML documentation. I'm not so worried about that. Okay. Integration with brain drain, convert effects. Yeah. Okay. SFX integration. Ensure brain drain.quiz register its audio source for clip share, wrong clip, perfect clip. And unregister on destroy. Okay, so inside the start or awake. So I'll put it in start. I'm thinking this day all IDEs. Oh, I know what that is. All IDEs would have the ability to actually clean up the code. Right, give me a moment to try and find disk space. Well, doesn't matter. I've run out of disk space, so it stopped recording. It literally just stopped recording. Okay. That's fine, I can continue with the stream. I've not really been using not really been editing the backups anyway. For the time being. Okay, and unregister on destroy. So do I have an on destroy? I should do. Yep, I do. Awesome. Sweet. Final recommendations, standardized, nice to haves, blah blah blah. Here's a revised version incorporating key fixes, clappings and that. Okay, so I'll say cool. Yeah, thanks, I have updated engine quiz.cs. And settings .cs. Okay, and I'll feed it both code. We'll give it a moment to process all of that. Just check I'm still streaming. Yeah, I'm still streaming by the looks of it. I'll just jump to this to double check. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, we're getting some response from our AI. Okay, let's go back up and see what it says. I mean, that's a lot less than the list than the last time. So there's a typo in brain drain quiz on destroy, is there? Is there really? Okay. Well, I mean, I pasted that in, so did it not tell me to register the resources? So is this an example of AI hallucinating and going rogue? Oh, okay, so I've misread it. So it should be on register and on destroy. And I've not added the register in. Okay. Okay, my bad. Oops. It needs the semicolon. And then on start, it needs a register. Okay, yeah, so register is fixed and that's fine. Let's go back down to its new. Let's go back down to its new ones. Okay. It's been fixed. And consistent player prefs not save cache settings. So music volume. Right. So settings manager, music volume. Okay, and inside fuzzy match. Okay. No unsubscriptions, not on fuzzy match has changed. Drain.quiz, okay. So handle fuzzy match changed. Okay. Inside start, add handle fuzzy match. Okay. And on destroy, basically, oops. On destroy. Okay, minor nitpicks. I like that. Okay, so apply SFX. It's back in Music Manager, wasn't it? Apply. Okay. So it's interesting that I mean, it's obviously done the checks on my Amax Games account, and that is correct. But it's also interesting that it's trying to push me to promote the game on X as well, which is again a nice thing. I'm one of those people. I don't mind Elon pushing his other product within his other products. I really don't, as long as it's not in my face. That's added in at the end of this. It's not relevant to the rest of it, but it's something I could look into. So Right. Okay, so we need to test all of these changes because wow. Okay, so I need to free up some space on my C drive. I kind of knew this was coming, to be fair. Give me a moment. Moving around 200 gig just now. Should be enough to continue. Right. So, play. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to our scenes first. Scenes, go to main menu. I'm going to play the game from scratch. So play. Okay, the music's come in. Seems to be at the right volume. Enter round mode. My music stops. I definitely need to fix that. Technically, that's George Lincoln Orwell. Okay, that seems fine. Let's go to pause menu, main menu. Okay, I'm deafened by the music again. If I go to settings menu, fuzzy match is on. Turn fuzzy match off. Close. Oh, that closed the game for some reason. It must have hit quit, double clicked for me. Okay, settings. So fuzzy match is off. Close. Round mode. I'm not going to be able to fuzzy match that one. Fuzzy match is 0. Fuzzy match settings to false. So if I do this, correct. Okay. So if I then go back to pause in menu, settings. No, fuzzy match is shown as on. Okay. Okay, let's do a code review of my settings. Because I think that's going to spit out some inconsistency. Oh, I've already done a code review of settings. Have you been working on that? Okay. So I don't know the best way to fix this. Unity AI is terrible. No wonder it's free. It really is useless. So what I'll do is I'll do Control A, Control C, this is my name script. It does not seem to the settings saved in the player ref loaded in the settings menu. Settings manager. Settings manager. Do not appear to be replied on this when returning to this page. See if that helps. Okay, so it's given me a lot of bump. Let's see what it comes up with. That's looks like it's given me the full code. What about potential improvements in a moment? Yeah, fix the destroy thing. Stop worrying about that. So, which one is this? This is settings manager. Okay, so it wants me to change my settings manager. Interesting. So we've got 240 lines just now. It's actually trimming stuff out of it, but it looks like, okay, see what it says. Okay, so they've now been added. And on start, pretty sure that's already done. Okay, so I'll give it a new brain drain quiz. And then I will give it settings manager. Got to deep think about this or it's crashed. One out of two. Usually it gives me some indication of what it's doing. while that's doing that, let's try and ask a question. I have seen Unity plays music while on the main menu. When I change scenes, I want the music to continue playing. How can I achieve? You can see instantly, like ChatGPT starts spitting out results. I think Grok's been on Joe Rogan smoking too much weed. Definitely seems to be taking its time. I mean, it's called dope for a reason. Let's go back to ChatGPT in the meantime. Create a game object for music. Okay. Okay. So basically it says create a music manager. So ta-da! We have a music manager. And it should have the audio source component to it. Yeah, it doesn't. Is that what the problem is? There's actually one called audio source. There is. Oh, okay. But I do have an audio source, so I'll create an audio source separately. That seems a bit odd. Right. It's kind of irrelevant though. Create an empty game object, name it something like music player, add an audio source component to it, assign your music clip to the audio source. Enable loop so the track is repeated, add a script to preserve it. Now when you change scenes, music player will processed. So is it because I have my audio source outside of my audio manager? I actually think I need to rip out the audio from this and start again from scratch, if I'm being honest. Because Grok's screwed up. And I think that's the thing about game development frameworks like Unity and Unreal and Godot, is that they are absolutely amazing if you actually know what you're doing, but they can be so complex. Like, to make some things easier, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Okay. So Grok's just like, nope, not playing anymore. Fair enough. Let's just delete this then. And then I'll just go here is quiz. Don't see it. Try again. No, I didn't say anything about sentence manager. Oh, you idiot. I've pasted the wrong thing. Okay, let's give me a code review of this. Not really what I wanted, but hey ho. Let's try again. Yep, I'm going to analyze that code. So this really shouldn't be too difficult to fix, I don't think. Let's look at our music manager then, because we do have a music manager script. So instance not equal to null, and then instance not equal to this, and destroy. Otherwise instance equals this, don't destroy and get load. Okay, so ta-da! That's why it's crashing. I think I'm going to try and start that again. Let's see what Grok's up to. Okay, it's not really suggested anything major, so it's polish. Definitely a good idea. Okay, so I have brain drain quiz. I have sets manager. What's on my stacking list? Is there anything else I can take out just now? Okay, right. Oops, Control Z, copy. Leave that to it. I think Grok's getting hit hard at the moment. How long have I been streaming for? About another hour. My usual 2-hour streams, so okay. So let's have a look at. Let's see if I can work this out logically. My little monkey brain. So settings manager. Load stuff on awake. And it has a link to an audio source for the sound effect source and an audio clip. Okay, so if I jump back into Unity, I've got my settings manager. It's got a test sound effects clip, right? So settings manager itself is irrelevant. So it is. So music manager should be the thing doing the heavy lifting. So inside music manager we have an audio source. Or we actually have it pointing to an audio source, don't we? Right. We have it looping with a play on awake. Don't have it muted. don't have a mixer grip for to output to. Let's try something drastic. Star. Okay, so I've just nipped out my entire music manager. Let's go back to ChatGPT's suggestion. Oh, sod off. This mouse is going to do my head in. Need to get this game out there so we can actually start earning some money. I can maybe get myself a new mouse. Okay, so nice and basic. Just save that. So there's nothing special about Music Manager now. It's literally basic as basic gets. Music Manager does not contain a definition of instance. What? I'm confused. I'm confused. Right, I'm guessing there's probably something I've missed here, so say this gives a error. That is why somewhere in your project you or Unity is trying to use Music Manager.instance. But Music Manager class available did not expose a public instance properly. So is this my new Music Manager? Or another script in start or later. Okay. Before I add that, let's give it a go. I wonder how much of this is because I'm running on version 6. Excuse me. I get the error. Let's see if it's still complaining. And it is. Oh, maybe not. Let's try again. Oh. See, Chat GPT is really dropping the ball in this one. Like, that's 3 errors so far. Okay. Oh, we need. Hold on a minute. Okay, music manager instance stop mute. I know what that says. It's not. Yeah. It's problems in settings manager, not music manager. You can't really blame ChatGPT for this because it won't be aware of music manager at this point. What we've got now, we've got complain again. Looks like you are. And nothing. Nothing. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say I'm going to take a copy of my settings manager and go here. Okay, let's integrate this into my settings manager. Okay, so 3 minor changes. One volume slider changed. Okay, so looks like this is just wanting three new fields. Okay. Let's try that again. See if these work now. Yeah, that no. Okay, I think I've completely broken sound in this now. Ah, fantastic. I hate sound. I hate sound. Right, so this music manager not showing an audio source. Shouldn't it show an audio source? And shouldn't the clip be my brain drain clip? Because if it's not making that call, then this must be making the call. Well, it is, because that's where the brain drain thing's not on. Right, let's disable this. See if this works. I suspect it's going to cause problems. Maybe I'll get two competing audio managers. Game's running, but I don't have any sound. Test sound effects does nothing. Okay. So audio source is definitely required. You can add an audio source in here. So what if I added audio source here? And the audio source is in fact interesting. So if I add an audio source to it, the audio source is brain drain theme. Okay. Select music manager as my audio source. Let's try this again. Okay, that's started without deafening me. If I go to the game, it's continuing to play. If I go to pause and I go to main menu, it continues at the same volume. Sweet. Right, so now if I hook up settings, go to settings. Okay, close and quit. Right, so settings manager. Okay, test audio clips fine. Music manager. So I think we've set that. I think we can delete this audio source now. We've fixed our audio issue, but our settings is no longer working with it. So where does settings get information from our audio manager? It's got to be from the settings script though, isn't it? Okay, so I've fixed that, but I need these to be linked to new redo settings. That really need redo settings. How is it finding the audio source? I think that's the issue. So our new music manager seems to be doing the job. So does our music manager have an audio source? It does. That's the one we just created. Okay, can I turn this off and it still work? That doesn't change how I point it to. It does, because music manager script is there and it's been pointed to the music manager audio. Okay. So let's try this again. Sounds playing, sounds fine. I understand you can't hear this. I deliberately don't feed that out to feed my system audio out to the stream. The only time that might actually happen is if John's joining me from a conference call. So inside settings, no errors display when hit inside settings, but nothing inside here works. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So stop that. What did it do to settings manager? Does settings manager have? I think I've already been here. Settings manager does not point in. No, so it just has the loaded audio clip. Okay. Music managers are prefab. Okay, so let's go back to our snagging list because we fixed the problem. In fact, we fixed two of these. So the music volume doesn't change when playing scene. Keep music settings as the scene plays. The problem with that though is that we now have, since fixing audio, music. The settings page. Page 12, nothing. Okay. So, how can we solve this? I suppose, what is the problem? Right, so we switched out Music Manager. .cs. Let's try something just for spit and giggles. Okay, let's go back to the original Music Manager. Yeah, I think Grok died. Okay, and let's try the game again. Now with the old Music Manager back in place. Okay, I'm not hearing any music, but it's muted, so if I unmute, still not hearing anything. Unmute sound effects. Don't hear anything. Test sound effects. Still don't hear anything. Okay. So I solve one problem and cause another. Should probably be looping anyway. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? This is why I need to get better at version control. Something settings manager has to be. It's literally something inside settings manager. Okay, need to go grab myself a drink. I'll be back in a moment. Have a think about this. And I'm back. Got myself a drink and still not the wiser actually as how to fix this. So let's try and give this a good prompt. So let's grab our music manager. Okay. And say in chat, I have a music manager game object with this script. It has the audio source. Trying to link settings page to, I'm trying to modify such as mute and volume on the settings page. With this script. But it doesn't change anything. Can you assist? Okay. So change music manager. Set volume and mute. In here. Okay. I like that as a TLDR, too long didn't read. So let's see if that fixes our problem. Give it a moment to compile. Okay. I'm not hearing anything. So we're into settings, music is muted, and mute. Still not hearing anything. And mute sound effects. Test sound effects isn't doing anything. Yeah. So no, that did not solve the problem. I bet you that's part of the problem. In Awaken, that's not there. Music source. What should that be? Is that's going to be this, isn't it? So did something? Did I make changes when it was at runtime? Is that what happened? Let's try this again. Maybe I screwed up. Well, I mean, I know I've screwed up. Maybe I screwed up this particular part. There's music. Inside settings. That's supposed to be muted, so that's not right. No, that's not working. So I now have audio consistent. Even the volume's consistent. It just doesn't allow me to change settings anymore. Okay. Making changes inside this does not help. Inside settings doesn't change anything. And for example, if you go into settings, you can hear music playing, but it shows as muted. I made the changes that you suggested. So let's take the old one off since we've resolved that problem. Okay, save that. No. Updated music. Yes. Okay. It recommends to do both fixes. Okay. So applied save settings. So let's copy that. Don't know which one this is from though. Must be settings manager. Okay. So there is no applied save settings apparently. Music source dot mute. Should that be in settings manager? No, it shouldn't be. It should be in music manager. Thank you. Yep. Well, it looks like there's an applied save settings in here already. There is. Oh, no, that's not. Yeah, there we go. Apply save settings. Unicode. Take that out. Save that. Okay. Edit project scripts execution order. So. Edit project. Script execution order. Okay. Never been in here before. Add settings manager and move above music manager. Well, settings manager is not here. So okay, so settings manager should load before music manager, I think. Be good if I solved it. This music thing's been like 4 or 5, maybe even more nights where I've been streaming, and it's really been getting to me not being able to make progress. While I maybe only stream for a couple of hours, every few days I often look up tutorials and different ways to do things outside of the actual stream. So it can be very frustrating when you're watching hours and hours of content and getting nowhere really. Okay, there's my music and it's playing inside settings. Nope, music's still showing. Coincidentally, does the rest of the stuff works if I switch this to major and go to close? Go around. No, nothing inside that sentence is now working. Nothing inside sentence is now working. I hate my life. I hate my life. I hate my life. I hate my life. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Sentence, right? Okay, so can I just go back? I need to find out how to use this correctly. Because I should be able to go back and just check specific files inside here. Because I mean it's not going to be rocket science, but settings manager definitely needs updated. So I've affected the settings manager. So I'll give me the music manager. Okay, and I did give it settings manager. Let's see. Okay, no, that's the music manager script. Try it. Here is my settings manager. It doesn't, nothing in the UI seems to work with the music manager. Audio and SFX. Or no, it'll be music and SFX. Are not muted, or the volume doesn't change with sliders. Even the fuzzy match is not honored in game. These settings seem to do nothing. Okay, so set volume and mute should be pure. Inside music manager. Okay. Inside settings manager, apply something or other. Apply music volume and apply mute. Okay. Settings manager is above music manager. I think we just did that in the previous one, did we not? Yeah, settings manager is above music manager, so we're fine. Right. Jesus. Apply fuzzy match. Okay, that's so that would be in brain drain class, I think. try and fix the audio stuff first. Okay, hit play. There's my music. Nope, settings isn't doing anything. This was working, this bit was working, that's annoying about me. Really think I need to find an older version of my settings manager. I think that's an older version. So I'll do what I did the last time. So I'll look out this entire settings manager. What the heck? So Control Z and Control Z. Right, there we go. Let's go back here. Copy my code. Paste the original code in here. Oh, you. Why is it putting all in one line? There's no need for it to put it all in one line. Yeah, okay, fantastic. So the actual one that works is now completely minced. Wouldn't be so bad if it was a short script, but it's not. I mean, the thing is massive. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fix that. Okay. I want to fix this before I finish the stream, because this was working, consistently working as well. And back to this is why AI will not at this point in time replace actual devs, because this was working and it's screwed up my code. So let's see if that. Let's see. See how I can get started with Unity version control. Yeah, I've gone out, created workspace, I've done it, add data set, I've done it, invite members, don't care, subject files, change groups, whatever. Packages, I don't care, I want C. Okay, so change stats tab shows the project history, read repositories each. Double clicking the change stats list allows you to see what files are impacted by a change set. You can also view the history of each file, which shows your list of changes made to the file. You can also right click on the version and revert to its revised version. Okay. Okay. Hopefully I can find a working version of my settings manager then. Because I don't want to have fixed some audio issues to create new ones. That's just the kind of thing that Microsoft does. Or Apple, or Google. To be fair, that should probably be its own window. Can I drag it out? I can. Sweet. Right, so pending changes. I'm not so worried about the pending changes. How do I see previous versions? I don't think it's going to show me there, is it? Okay, settingsmanager.cs. I click on that, right click, history. Okay. Apparently I fixed UI callouts as opposed to colors. Can I open that version? Yeah, okay. Control E, Control C, Control V, save. Okay, let's go back in here. Let's try this again. Oh, apparently I've broke things. Since mine does not contain a definition for fuzzy match. Awesome. Awesome. Fuzzy match. Okay. That's a lot of errors. So music. Yeah. I could completely break this, couldn't I? Oh dear. Right. Oh. Music volume, SFX volume. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. New chat. This setting. Great. With new music that was created. And you help. And I've hit my chat GPT limit. I knew that was coming. Literally wanted to the reload. Okay. Need to fix this. So mute music. Mute music. This could suck quite severely. Mute music and save settings. Mute music and save settings. That just copied that. I did. Yeah, so it must be missing. It's missing some definitions. So let's find save settings. There's the save settings there. Add another save settings. That's not why that's screwed up. Peel off. I get frustrated now. Already been moved in. Okay, so I'm looking for music volume. Not sure this is going to help, to be honest. Probably more of a hindrance than help. Have we fixed all these now? No, apparently not. Let's pull the console out in our window so I can see how many of these are left. SFX volume, fuzzy. guess that's all of these. It does contain a definition. Effects volume. This is all typos. Yes. Is Grok up to the task again? It would seem not. Event on fuzzy match changed. Okay, now. So settings manager. Public event or on void. SFX volume. It's just a case of moving these down now. Nope. but they already exist. Go down and look for duplicates. You're no use. You really don't get enough chance to ask decent questions. It's just typos again. I'm missing a semicolon somewhere. Seriously? I believe how badly I broke this. It's got to be capitals. It has to be the capitalisation, surely. So SFX volume and fuzzy match with capital letters. Okay, so running as private. It shouldn't be, it should be public, shouldn't it? Playtest SFX and restore defaults. Finally, no errors. Does anything work now, or have I broke everything else under the hood? No music. Mute shows muted. Unmute. Give me some volume. Close. Still don't hear anything. Round mode. Don't hear anything. Pause. Main menu. Quit. Okay, that should save the new sentence. Play again. Nothing. Oh, it's not playing. Try that again. Don't think it was going to work anyway. Yeah, nothing. Okay, stop. So, music manager set up correctly now, so it's not an issue with that. Why is sentence manager? Why is all of sentence manager's settings cleared? That's probably not going to help. Right, let's try and fix this. So, music sources, music manager. Right. Okay, so I need my settings panel. Start canvas. No. Settings canvas. Okay. So settings panel. Music slider. I think this has maybe been the problem all along. See match toggle. Test sound effects button. Restore default button. Right. Difficulty slider. Ads manager. Okay. Fuzzy match enabled. Let's try that again. There's my sound. There we go. Okay. Sound effects. Testing. That works. If I mute it. Yep. Okay. So fuzzy matching allowed. Okay. Close that. Go into the game. Ooh, the music cut off. Ah, man. So close. Don't know why the music cut off. Okay, let's go pause, go to main menu. No music. Oh, actually, to be fair, no music. I love it when I introduce new bugs. So this is also an issue between the fact that everything is broken into smaller scripts and scattered across multiple scripts and multiple scenes in old school programming outside of a game engine. While this was done, you could also have one large script that did everything it needed to. So I need to go back to my snagging list. Fixed audio settings. Settings. Or fix audio settings, because it's not fixed. Fix. Music no longer persistent. Fix volume levels. Again. I might do some of these off stream actually, because it's really beginning to annoy me that I'm getting nowhere with these. Don't really know how to solve it. I think that's the most annoying thing. I think that is the most annoying thing. Right, I think that's me for tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you in our next video.